Sup everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. In today's video we are going to show you a guide on how to do the new Liminalty Nightfall Grandmaster. I will be saying this now, Warlocks are fucking broken, that's all you're going to hear from me now. Hunters, probably your second best options. Titans, I don't know what to fucking say to you guys, like seriously, that's all I'm going to say. But otherwise, in all seriousness, I'll show you how to actually run it, I'll show you the best strategy to kind of utilize. The loadouts that we're using, I'll show you my base. I'm using Optiomancy Bleak Watcher combo with Devourer, so every time I get a kill my ability, I survive. My partner is using the exact same build, except he's using Getaway Artist, so he's using the Arc version. We both have Outbreak. Going, as well as me as a Blinding Nade, him as a hand cannon, not hand cannon, sidearm, whatever the hell they are, for Unstop. Machine guns seem to be the most viable option for ad clearing and heavy, so I would recommend using that. Otherwise, yeah, first bit is just simple, you just kind of got to run through it. Just pretty much all these catacombs are going to be everywhere within the GM, so you will have to deal with this. My best bet for this strategy here, you can use a hunter, he can go invis and run through all this and despawn everything for you, or you can run through like maniacs like we are doing, which most teams are currently doing at the moment as well. When you reach this room here, you'll see how we're all running up top. You can either have one person stay down here, or you can have two up top. We prefer to do it 3 people up top. This is also one reason why you should bring Blinding Nade, besides from heavy ad density. There's going to be 2 champions, one camping up top here. Once you kill him, I recommend taking out the first Shrieker normally. So just have one person bait him up top, everyone else back here. Wishinder is a very viable option for this GM, surprisingly enough. You will need to obviously be baiting up and back because this Shrieker does close on you, like all of them. When you're up here as well, you'll see this anti-barrier in the left. I recommend jumping and 2 people taking care of him from over here. What this allows is obviously one person to sneak up like my partner just did and run into the next area. Normally in this little area here that we're running by, we'll have a champion, but our partner did that for us, so it makes it easier. This is why I say 2 people should stay down below. Makes it easier because the distance is hard with a pulse rifle, or what most people would be using will be Outbreak. As well, when you are in this area, you can be pulled, as you can see there. I recommend having the combination of one person pop their super first, and another person chaining off them. If you have an invis hunter or a hunter using Tether, that will also be very, very good for this room. Blinding nades in this room work perfectly, as there is ridiculous ad density to take care of. You will have to deal with multiple waves of these sort of enemies. The main component to these enemies is a sword breaker or a seal breaker that you will need to kill. Once you kill that seal breaker, he will spawn in the next wave after a few minutes or after a few seconds, and you have to do that twice before you spawn in a Hive Guardian, which isn't really hard to kill, but at the same time, you just want to be careful around it, as you'll see in the gameplay. When running out of this area, you'll see a Light-Bearer Witch. This witch actually has an interesting mechanic. If you kill her, she will, like, obviously, to crush the ghost, she will crush the ghost. But in the boss room, she will despawn after you kill her, so you don't have to crush the ghost. But you can damage her in this room here to a degree of health. And with that, she will be put at that specific amount of health when you are in the boss room. So it is good to actually play catch up and make sure you are damaging her, because that is one of the worst things to have to deal with in the boss room, especially if you are playing with people who don't understand most of the mechanics, or in general they have not done this GM. One tip I will say overall for this GM is never be standing still, always be on the move. When running into this room here, there's two versions of there. There's this side here that I will be doing, and the right side. The right side has 10 eyes that you will need to destroy and do a bit of a jumping parkour, whereas the side I am going on the left is a bit of a running maze. I will say the rotation does change. It will never be the same rotation. It is not an easy one, so beware. As you can see, I recommend making sure you are fast on your feet, because if you get what happened like me, you will die. As you can see, sliding in that can be a bit of a pain in the ass, so just be careful. As I said, the rotations does change. This is one of the worst rotations when they do have all the boopers everywhere, and you just kind of can't really move in the room, to be honest. You want to kind of stick to one side more frequently than the other. Again, I wouldn't say it's too bad, but there's probably one or two in the rotation that I will say is just shite to kind of run through. As you just saw there, because I actually effed up that rotation, and quite F that rotation, I hate it to God. You can ask anyone in my stream, I fucked that one up more times than God himself. But in general, if you screw up that rotation, those two knights will spawn in there, or if you screw up any of the rotations more than once. Now for the favorite room of all times. With this room here, be very careful. The way we do it is we go a bit chaotic and go crazy, but I recommend having one person stationed in the back area here at the start, one on the left, and one up where I'm actually about to jump. This means you got 3 locations covered. At the same time, you will want to be chaining a lot of supers over here due to the fact that there is a high ad density, and all you gotta really do is just literally kill them constantly. When you kill the unstops, it will enhance the rotation, so shit will go faster and stuff will spawn in again. I recommend having, if you are a warlock, use the same build I'm using, which is a Bleak Watcher build. This shit shreds, especially later on, as you'll see in the boss room. Nothing really can touch you. At the same time, I kind of use this area up top to bait the enemies in and just kill them for my own bit of safety. Whereas you can see Con down there, he'll deal with the enemies down there, and you'll see the lava rising soon or shortly, which is obviously the main occurring problem in this GM, which you'll notice throughout the run. Whenever this happens, you will see obviously the unstop spawning in. This is what I was on about with chaining your super. Having more people on Song of Flame will make this much easier, and having a tether will be very supportive. As you can see, there is a subjugator. This subjugator spawns in at the last unstop. My best bet for you is to make sure taking care of that unstop first, as we just did, and then focusing the subjugator. He isn't too much of a problem. Literally just using a blinding GL will blind him at the same time, which also is very good. It's actually quite funny because we figured this out just doing a random run. So hopefully this trick does help you. And this does go for the one in the boss room, because they are the same one as right now. So if you damage him enough and your time is accurate, you will have no problems in the boss room, as he will spawn in with that much health as well. So we dropped him 2 bars down, he will be 2 bars down in the boss room. If not, it's probably a bug, but normally this is how it's kind of worked for us. We've done over 12 to 15 runs of this, and that's what we've kind of figured out. When in the boss room, obviously you land in, the boss will spawn down. If you are a Song of Flame Warlock, I recommend just doing the strategy we're going with. Make sure you're just heavy ad clear. Don't focus the boss with your super, focus the Knights and the Acolyte, because they will kill you more than the boss will. This is something that we've been trying to figure out. Like, we thought nuking the boss was going to be the plan, but he actually has a fair amount of health. So I would not actually go for that game plan. Ad clear slowly. If you have the Bleak Watchers like we're using, it makes this much easier. Obviously we're just jumping around with Transcend as well, which is very, very effective. Use whatever sort of abilities with Transcend you would like. I recommend, again, having the Scorch Melee Incinerator Snap. I just feel it works a bit more in your favor than what the other one does. Like, even Triple Arcane isn't too bad, but again, I feel this one is just more effective in the long run of things, especially with like high ad densities. You can clear out shit much, much easier. One way to operate this boss room is how we've done it. Cons on the left side, Gamma on the right, and me, Gamma in the middle and me on the right. What this allows is the boss to go to one of us, while the other two can focus in damage. Once you do the first phase, make sure you kill these adds. There's going to be an unstop that spawns with them a bit later. Once they are all dead, you will do the 2 rooms that you can see with the little orb showing on my screen, and you will have to do those. They are like the previous rooms. The left side will be a running room and a bit of parkour one, whereas the right side will be killing 10 eyes and parkour. Whoever is doing the right side room, just make sure you are ready, because those eyes aren't an easy thing to kill, just due to the fact that locations can be a pain in the ass. If you miss one, you will have to reset. Yeah, did you see my chance? Back up. Oh. Okay, gotcha. Just hold it. Once you do the 2 rooms, the boss will jump back down the middle. You're going to have more ads spawn in. The difference is with this wave is you're only going to have limited ads. It's not going to be as crazy as what the last wave was. It's just going to be the basic bitch ads of normal. Again, just have your team obviously set up for it. We kind of always set up 2 people ready on the right and 1 in the middle. Once it's all cleared, go and just deal damage to the boss. Once you get the boss down to his last bar, then you're going to have the witch from the previous area spawn in, as you'll see in a moment. As you see, the witch spawns in at the top there. I recommend having one person still have their super. If another person like me is holding their Shade Transcend or just ammo for this bit, that also helps out a lot. While dealing with this, you will have an anti-barrier, so be mindful of him. And if you kill that witch early, a subjugator will spawn. The subjugator from the previous room, if you weren't aware. Again, this subjugator does normally spawn once the witch is dead, but if you kill her early before these adds, it just makes it much harder for you in the long run of the mission, as the subjugator and the witch together kind of brings out no cover in the rooms. Just do also be wary of the size of this room, as it does fill up with lava in specific phases, like right now. Finished. I'll collect the thing. Do be wary if you are the guy who pops super like me, you will lose your super when you do this. So now for the final wave, you're going to have, I believe, one more champion. It's just going to be an unstop. Make sure to set up and get defensive ready, as this will be the kind of craziest one. The boss goes into like a berserker frenzy, as most tormentors kind of do. At the same time, his, as we call it, his butt cheeks or his flaps are open, and these are in a weak spot. So if we can get a good view, you will see. Yep, right there. Just shoot him right in the cheeks. And when the unstop's out, I recommend try to bait him into the middle. This will give you a higher chance of getting an easier kill on him, as he's probably the one thing that stands between you and Platinum. more than most in this GM. Everything's dead, besides from ads. I got super, I'll use. There will be one more wave of ads, so don't go psychotic. Just play it safe, play it smart. Boss grab me. Be wary of this mechanic. If the boss is fast enough, he will grab you. And when he grabs you, the following results happen. You become a corpse. Unless someone can actually damage him enough to drop you, or if you're in your super. I got transcend. Oh shit. Still got stuff. He fucking yeeted me into the fire. Yep, I'm going around. And that is it. So altogether, this gym isn't a bad one. It's just really about kind of using abilities and playing smart. As you saw, like we just kept kiting out the boss to different locations. The worst things that can really kind of drain your lives are the running areas or the running rooms. As you saw in the first half of the video, fucking failed that thing like 3 times. God help me, I hate that one, not gonna lie. But yeah, overall this is actually a fun GM. If you do need help at all, by all means come down to the Twitch channel. Link's gonna be in the description. Otherwise, good luck out there and have fun.